ChatGPT to have an intimate relationship with AI?
Chances are it's already more closely integrated in your daily life than you know or would like to admit.
Our fantastic guest today will speak more about the tangible ways that this tech is embedded within the industry and what we need to learn about it.
Of course, we also have to think about the ethical and environmental perspectives on AI. It would be irresponsible not to mention because AI is a risk for our future.
As we mentioned earlier, AI is making jobs harder to find. Just 2 weeks ago, Channel 9 announced plans to axe 30 jobs in The Age and Sydney Morning Herald because of extreme AI disruption.
Globally, Gen Z will be impacted as we're already seeing significant displacement in international markets, such as the US.
Companies aren't necessarily turning to AI because it's better, but because it's cheaper.
Impacting not just communications professionals, but humans across the board.
AI models train with all sorts of material, and that repurposed work is not always credited or compensated. Think about the recent scandal regarding AI and the Australian music industry. Creatives look out for each other, and stolen IP is something we don't want to see.
Another big one, the environment. Only 40% of Aussie data centres operate with renewables, despite Australia being the perfect place for renewable energy.
Development of Australia's AI framework, which will regulate some of these things, will be an important one for us to keep an eye on, especially as we build our digital literacy.
So we think if man can make the machine, then man can make the machine to help us. The machine is only as smart and as helpful as we make it.
We maintain that the best ideas have and will continue to come from humans. AI is only as good as the ideas that we give it. When there are problems with AI, human solutions are typically the answer.
The human experience is what separates us from the machine and gives us the power of ideas and creativity. Our human insight will always set us apart.
It's time to wrangle the machine with the power of humanity.
Let's bring in our co-host, Lucia Soriano, and our guests to kick off Hungry Talks 2026.
Wait 1 second, Alana. Before we do that, we should take a moment to thank the screen and media students presenting Hungry Talks.
We should, Oscar. We actually couldn't have done this without them. And this first episode is extra hard. We're filming it here live. We're a small but mighty team and we need a couple of minutes to relocate and settle in with our guests.
While we do that, we thought we'd show you an ad. A Thinkerbell ad. An AI Thinkerbell ad. I didn't even know they made those. All the work was done in-house. They've got their own AI production studio.
Take it away, production team. When we're back, Oscar and Lucia will be coming to you live from the couch.
MC bin chicken. See, I'm king of the tip, lord of the gutter. See, dumb trash and my heart's in a flutter. But here comes Karen with a camera lens, reporting my lunch to her digital friends. Snaps and soul, you think you're so flash. Trash is my treasure, stay off my stash. Snaps and soul, please go away. Let me live my bin chicken way. Burst pipes in my spas, dump surface my beds. Thrive on trash while humans see red. Trolleys are houses, potholes are fools. Trash is my kingdom where bin chickens rule. Snaps and soul, you think you're so flash. Trash is my treasure, stay off my stash. Snaps and soul, please go away. Let me live my bin chicken way. Mattress in the mall, that's a 5-star bed. It keeps the ground warm from my feathery head. I love a burst pipe, love a graffiti wall. I love it dumped, fridge bro, I love it all. Snaps and soul, you're doing too much. Without my trash drawer, I'm losing my touch. Snaps and soul, solving away. How will I live my bin chicken way? Snaps and soul. Just don't do it, bro. Let me live my bin chicken way.
can the machine help us?
Look, we could ask a computer, but I think it's better to ask some humans.
So please welcome our guests, Stef DiGianvincenzo, Ed Howley, and Paul Arena, to the couch to talk all things HI.
Human intelligence. Stef comes to us as a Chief Marketing Officer with experience in Meta, Google, Cotton On, and Ovum AI. As a creative strategy pro, she's going to help us understand the real world of digital marketing and AI integration.
Now, Ed is a founding creative partner who has been included in B&T's 30 Under 30 and Campaign Brief's Small Agency of the Year list. His agency, by all means, is coming off a hugely successful City of Melbourne campaign. So it's an exciting time to get this great ideas man on the couch.
Paul is a brand strategy and marketing whiz, and most recently an AI enablement lead at Clemenger BBDO. He's an Effie and Cannes Lions winner, having worked with some of the biggest brands in Australia. Think of Toyota, Asahi, Nike, and our Matildas.
Now, I don't know about you, Lucia, but I think this is a very exciting lineup to start Hungry Talks 2026.
Oh yeah.
Now, first up, who are you? We answered that, but who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I am Stef DiGianvincenzo, the girl with a mouthful name. If I had to sum up my job, it's basically creative and strategy mixed into one. And I try and find solutions that help businesses to find growth, no matter what that growth might mean for them.
Okay. Using AI?
Sometimes using AI. Yeah.
And I'm Ed Howley, co-founder and co-creative partner at Barmeans. So I sort of lead the creative product of the agency. I think I got into advertising because I liked using creativity to solve problems, whatever they might be. So that's sort of what I do every day.
Great. Paul Arena, AI enablement lead at Clemenger BBDO, and if that sounds like a made-up job title, it's because it just was. It's not only a new job title for the advertising industry, it's sort of a new job title for the world. And my sort of take on it at the moment is it should really be a human enablement lead, not an AI enablement lead, because most of my job is spent actually helping humans make the most of the tools that they've been given.
Awesome. Well, how are you and your companies using AI? I guess we'll go through a little bit.
Yeah. I guess I use AI in the same way that a lot of you all use AI, and that's probably been most heavily influenced in recent years by generative AI. So I use it to kind of expedite my workflows, do the jobs I hate, like versioning and decking. But probably the way that I work with AI the most is in the algorithmic AI. So we talked earlier, you mentioned earlier in the intro, TikTok's content feed, that's driven by AI. And a lot of what I do is helping businesses understand how to build creative that leverages that algorithm for better results in their campaigns. So that's probably the two ways that I use it most.
Yeah, similar. I think, in the creative department of our agency, AI is used for, more menial tasks, but also, it helps us work faster. So it helps us sort of prototype ideas. It helps us with research. It helps us sort of expanding ideas that we come up with. But yeah, the theme of today is really that, AI can't replace a human idea, and that's still very much true. But the challenge, I suppose, is, that we're using AI to take away tasks that young people, probably used to do. So therein lies the challenge to, solve, hopefully.
You just answered a follow-up question, by the way.
Jumped ahead.
I think the way that a lot of people at Clemenger are using AI at the moment is, there's a million different ways. It's the same as sort of asking how are people using a computer, and everyone's approaching it completely differently. If you talk to someone in the design or craft team, the way that they look at AI and what they get from it, and the things that frustrate them are completely different to a business manager or a strategist or a CEO, for example. But I think there are some fundamental use cases that kind of run across the board, which is clarity. I think AI is just such a good distiller of information And we're not getting any less information. Clients are sending the whole kit and caboodle, that all the research, all the data, all the customer data, like every trend report, every sort of research study that they get is coming our way now, and no human could sift through it all and connect the dots, find the patterns. So yeah, being able to distill, just distillation is ultimately what a creative agency does. It takes all this stuff and turns it into an ad or a headline or 2 words, title of a product. So yeah, that distillation and clarity. And I think the other big thing is context. Humans don't have great memories. We have biases. We tend to favor one thing or another, or our context is made up of our own individual experiences. But AI is great at ignoring all that and just giving you the full picture of everything that kind of came before, which can be incredibly useful.
Yes. Moving on, despite being digital natives, a lot of us Gen Z are very skeptical about AI, especially with some of its environmental and copyright issues. So how do you guys find a balance between these criticisms and the way you use AI?
Go ahead. I can feel like that was a little bit aimed at me. But yeah, I think it's a tough one. And those are 2 very different areas of problematic areas of AI, right? Like the copyright thing, it's indefensible that, a company could steal people's, original thoughts and ideas, not pay them a cent, and then, offer it up in some amalgamation.
I don't think it's just Gen Z that has this.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, definitely not in the craft department at the agency. But yeah, I think there needs to be more transparency across the board with AI, both in terms of how it's sourcing and training its models, but also the energy that it's using and the water that it's using. There's no transparency right now. So we know that it uses a heap of energy to run a data center. We don't know how much energy a prompt or a generation of an image or a video is using. So it's hard for consumers to actually kind of decide, I'm going to use this model because it does a better job, or I'm going to use it an organization is going to use it a certain way. I think with the introduction of tokens, and tokens aren't going to get cheaper, they're going to get more and more expensive as we go on. I think the phase that we're in with AI right now is like the early Uber phase, right? Where everything was cheap and you got free water and chewing gum every time you took a ride. And now it's not cheap, it's expensive. And AI is going to be the same way, because these businesses aren't making the profits that they need to make to meet their valuation. So as they start billing more and more for tokens, and hopefully people will become more and more responsible in terms of what they're using it for, using it to write an email, using it to add up some numbers, is hopefully that kind of stuff goes away and we start using it for bigger and better things.
Yeah. We had a follow-up question for that, and it was, how can juniors use AI to their advantage? With all of this in mind.
Yeah, I can tackle that one. We're in, as you said, we're in this sort of like early Uber phase. The challenge with AI is it's just come upon us so quickly, and humanity's kind of sleptwalk into this world where it's here whether we like it or not. And I think there's, advertising has always been hard to get into for juniors, but now it's harder than ever. But what AI allows young creative people to do is the barrier to entry to create your ideas and create and make is now easier than ever. So I think there's an opportunity for young people to upskill. You've got time on your hands that we don't necessarily have. So learn the tools, start experimenting, start making stuff. Because I think increasingly we're going to see the role of creative people being creator and maker.
100%. I've actually seen quite a few jobs on the jobs boards recently for content creators, specifically for creative people with, say, under 2 or 3 years experience. So using some of those AI-enabled tools will help them produce the content that we would have struggled with coming out of uni, right? So whilst there aren't necessarily the junior jobs in those bigger agencies like there used to be 10 or 15 years ago, there are absolutely opportunities out there, and AI I think can actually enable you to get those as well.
Okay. Well, we've got a question a little bit down the skepticism route, but do you think that audience perceptions change when they notice that brands are using AI?
100%.
Yeah.
Like I find myself, I don't know about you guys, but if I see an AI ad on TV, particularly TV, I'm less allergic to it if it's in my feed, but I kind of recoil from the screen a little bit. You can see it a mile away and it feels, I don't know, it's just artificial in the way that just puts you off the most. I think though, like AI is coming a long way. Some of those like tells are going to start to become harder to see, which is a good thing because it will allow more brands to kind of play in that space. But I think right now it is brand damaging. And we will start to see like brands experimenting with these kinds of applications is fairly new. We're not going to see the brand damaging effects of that for probably another 18 months where they actually can look at their brand tracking and see sentiment in market and stuff like that. So it's probably too early to tell, but my instinct says yes, it's probably not a great thing for the brands.
We're talking about execution though, aren't we?
Totally.
Like, it's a little bit like back in the day you had websites dedicated to like Photoshop fails.
Yeah.
And, you know, the AI is used throughout the process, you know, and execution is just one area of it. And to your point, it'll get better and better. So.
But I definitely think there's a downside to noticeably using AI, humans and, you know, AI generated product images. I think it's almost like the reverse Super Bowl effect. Like the Super Bowl effect is that just by simply being a brand that advertises during the Super Bowl, you are seen as being of high quality, of worth.
Yep.
And I think the inverse happens when you are seen to use AI generated images and that it looks cheap and nasty and you're a brand that cuts corners.
Yep.
And then that's going to reflect on, you know, how people, you know, perceive the experience of your products and services to be.
It's very interesting. I've got a good question here. What is the smartest way that you guys have seen AI used? Like ever?
Ever.
Ever.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
How badly do you want to date this episode? I mean, I just watched a 27-minute short film called Pomegranate that, you know, the special effects were, you know, outstanding. But, you know, I think when we talk about smart uses of AI, I think the theme here is like the smartest use of AI is being disciplined about how we use it and when and how. And I think increasingly, like if we can all kind of learn how to employ AI in a way that it elevates our human product and it doesn't sort of destroy it, that is going to be the smartest use of AI.
I think as well, I've seen some really amazing applications of it from people who are not at all in our industry, but are looking to replicate software that they might otherwise have to pay for. So like using Claude to like build me an agent that can do X, Y, Z instead of paying for, I don't know, a Salesforce or some kind of CRM platform. You can actually just build that yourself in Claude. So I think that particularly with small business owners who are just kind of scrappily figuring things out, I think it's a really powerful tool for replacing some of those bigger software platforms that are traditionally really expensive.
Yeah, I think some of the software builds that I've seen with bad and minimal prompting, people are able to create full interactive 3D video games and things that, you know, I mean, my past is working in the video games industry and it would take 3 or 4 years to build a game and someone can do it in an afternoon with a few clever prompts. The finished product might not be as good, but being able to go from zero to something people can play and test and start to refine is pretty amazing. So I think some of those leaps of being able to bring the final product so much closer, or 80% of the final product closer, is pretty amazing. I think some of the other great, cool, interesting uses I've seen are like creating brains, where people are, you know, creating systems that store knowledge on various things and give personalized context on things. So I have a work brain and a personal brain, which are two different AI systems that know everything about, one knows everything about my job and all the projects I'm working on, every meeting that I have, every email that I receive, every Teams chat conversation. It has all that context. It can help me solve problems quicker and respond to clients and you know, staff quicker. My personal brain knows, you know, about my life and my goals and side projects that I'm working on, and, you know, can kind of help me solve those problems and kind of jump to solutions quicker in that as well. So yeah, I think instead of using AI as a search tool, which I think is the kind of the first way that a lot of people use it, ask it a question, get a response, starting to string things together and build memory and build context and understanding is kind of the next level. And I think it starts to get really interesting when you do that.
It raises an interesting ethical question above and beyond the kind of environmental and copyright thing though, because I've recently heard of a business who is building these kind of brains, and you can call it like it's your mini self or your double, and they're proposing that businesses have the brain for every single employee and keep that brain when the employee leaves. And I'm kind of like, what about my IP?
Yeah.
Like if I go, surely all my IP should come with me. You shouldn't get to keep that. So I feel like that's an interesting next ethical conundrum we're going to have to face, because brains are kind of a new thing on the scene.
Totally.
Like super smart agents, right?
Yeah, well, you should be able to license it back to the company and
should.
receive
Yes,
receive a
sell
cut
it.
of the ticket.
Restrict it. I want to raise. I'm going to put this on pause for a little while.
Price tag on it. That's crazy. Well, we're going to go on to a little human question. And what is one thing you don't think that AI could do or do well? I feel like we sort of touched on this just then, especially with your response. But if you guys want to...
I mean, for me, it's ideas.
Yeah.
Like it's terrible at coming up with good ideas that feel resonant and relevant. I feel like it's really good at mediocrity, right? So it can do something that's not bad, but also not great. And the problem is that ideas have to be like different to be great, and it can't quite do that yet. So for all the people, sort of in your sphere in RMIT and in the industry who are responsible for coming up with ideas, I think that role is very protected. I think for a minute we thought we could outsource the ideas, but we pretty quickly learned that you can't, because the result is dismal.
Yeah, I mean, the very way that AI is constructed, it's convergent thinking. It's bringing together an amalgamation of everything that it's been trained on, which is everything that kind of exists in the world already. So I think it's going to increase the value and the need for divergent thinking, and diverse thinkers are going to become more and more valuable, because they, people who are, not neurotypical, people who have, cultural diversity has always been a huge thing in agencies. Now it's going to be a survival thing. You're going to need those people that don't think like everyone else, because they're not going to come up with the idea that the machine is going to come up with, because a lot of people are going to use the machine to come up with an idea. And the biggest fear of any agency person that goes on a lot of pitches, like Ed is at the moment, is that you walk into the pitch and you present the same thing that the agency before you presented, and they presenting the same thing that the agency before them did. And if we're all taking the client's information and data and putting it in and getting the same strategy and proposition, we're going to be heading towards the same ideas.
Yeah. We need to raise above the mediocrity.
Yes. Now, this question is interesting. Do you think that humans will outlast a machine, or we're going to end up like the Terminator with AI, like taking over? What do you guys think about that?
I like to think the humans win.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah. I think we have to. I mean, that's why this show is so important, right? Because you guys are the next generation coming into the world, and this is the world that you're inheriting. So hopefully exploring these themes help.
And you mentioned it a little bit earlier as well. We're already seeing early signs, I think, that things are going to be okay and humans are going to come out on top. Like with the profitability challenge of the AI companies, AI will naturally have to become more expensive when they IPO, because they're then accountable to shareholders. So having a Claude account is going to cost a lot more than it does today, potentially 10x. And then you have to ask yourself, is it worth having all my employees using all of these agents costing me the same as I could use to hire an entire, workforce? Probably not, because humans are still better, especially at the ideas piece. So I kind of feel like in about 6 months' time, we'll start to see a bigger wave of a shift away from using AI for everything, which you also mentioned, and being more discerning about what we're using it for, being more practical about what we're using it for as well. But yeah, I think we're starting to see early signs of it. I think Salesforce have already gone about hiring back a lot of the people they fired and replaced with AI about 12 months ago, and that's starting to be a trend overseas. I think we're going to see more of that locally as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you guys very much for that interview. It's now time for human verification with Lucia.
I'm Lucia Soriano, and this year on Hungry Talks, I'm running a new segment all about human ability. It's a couple of serious insights and a few silly ones from our guests and team. Steph, Ed, and Paul, let's check how high-level tech is working. Mark your whiteboards if you're human. She nearly didn't do it. All right. Well,
There I am.
well, anyway, here's what's about to happen. I've got 3 rapid-fire questions that I'm going to ask you, and I want you to give your best uniquely human ideas in response. I'll give you about 15 seconds to write down your answers. You can doodle or write whatever you fancy, and after that, we'll flip the boards and see where our heads are at. Naturally, this week is all about AI, the ins, outs, icks, and wins of the tech obsession in the creative industry. While you come up with your answers, we're going to put some AI slot pads on the screen for everyone to have a look at, and we think it'll really make your humanness pop. So, how this is going to work, we have 3 challenges to prove your human intelligence. For the first challenge, pick an ad, any ad that hit you in the heart, infested your mind. Your time starts now. In the meantime, here's an ad for hand warmers.
From morning routines to weekend sidelines. When the temperature drops, bring the heat with Hot Hands, America's favorite warmer. Fast-acting, long-lasting warmth. Trusted coast to coast. Hot Hands, available everywhere you shop.
Jesus.
All right, show us your boards.
I got nothing. I froze. Live TV fail.
I got Cadbury Gorilla playing the drums.
Oh,
That's a good
I
one.
think,
Oh my God.
yeah, it's the type of ad that an AI could never come up with because it's purely about a feeling, and there's no words, there's no real kind of clear idea to it. It's just a dramatization of a feeling.
That's a good one.
What have you got?
Oh, it's probably from the same year. Like that's how
Yeah,
that's
what
how
year
far
was
back
that?
I had to go. 2011.
A while ago. Older, yeah.
Mine was a print ad for a diamond ring company, and the headline was, "Your left hand rocks the cradle, your right hand rules the world." And I don't know why that's always stuck with me. It's probably like I'm showing my age here. But that's the last one that I could think of that actually had an emotional impact on me.
I cheated. I had extra time, but I also, from the same era, the Sony Bravia balls. I think
Oh yeah,
that was
good.
That's what my drawing is. They're bouncing.
All right, second challenge. This is a funny one. How do you smell AI content? Your time starts now. And in the meantime, an ad for bras. All right. Flip the boards.
What have you got?
Mine's just a hand with missing a finger.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the old way, but I mean, to me, it's symbolic of just something not quite right. Some sort of uncanny valley about it. Human with dead eyes, or animal with an extra ear, or where did that tail come from? I think it's starting to improve. That a lot of that's going away now. But I think if you're trained in terms of what it looks like, you can still spot it.
Yeah.
Similarly, my first word is smooth, and that's talking about imagery. I often find AI-generated imagery, there's like a smoothness to the facial features and the skin, and then from a copy perspective, the copy's always quite sort of generic and nothing, and not really saying anything.
Mm. Mine's on the copy side, and it's sentences or paragraphs, I should say, that start with, "I see it all the time." Can I also just take a moment to say I'm really upset about end dashes, because I'm a copywriter by background, and
That's just how you write.
That's how I write, and now people just think that I'm writing with AI, and I swear I'm not. I just love an end dash.
Oh, just you wait. All right, we're nearly there. So let's get into our final challenge. How do you tell an AI influencer? In the meantime, we've saved the worst for last. Here's an ad for dogs.
Wuffy, available in brown or white, the revolutionary handmade AI companion that brings authentic puppy love into your home in 5 incredible ways.
Yikes. All right, your time's up. Flip the boards. You can't.
Oh.
Really?
I've seen quality people be generated and voice, and to the point where I just wouldn't be able to tell anymore whether they were real or not. It's gotten so good.
Yeah. Terrifying. I just, it sort of stumped me. I just always check the follow account, and then also the spiel that they're giving, often if it's too good or too sort of positive, it's too good to be true.
I feel like a lot of the ones that I can tell are AI generated. They look a little bit not human, not in a bad AI way, but just that they have a feature about them that can't really be possible. Like bigger eyes or
bigger eyes.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much, Stef, Ed, and Paul. I think you just passed the test. Just. Before Oscar and Alana take us back to the future forecast, we've got another logistics ad break. So enjoy this campaign from McCann, which was entirely made with human ability.
Mwah. I just eat the Joe and the Juice tuna cardo.
Oh, I didn't know you could get those.
There's a lot you don't know, dear.
Well, I know that shirt's not coming back into fashion anytime soon.
Touché.
For lunch and everything else.
Did somebody say just eat?
When it's the season finale, we just eat Five Guys.
Yes. Oh, don't you worry, I'll get it, girls.
Howie, am I move?
Sorry, am I in the way?
Childish.
Sorry.
Childish.
For nights in and everything else.
Did somebody say just eat? Did somebody?
I just eat a McMuffin in bed while hubby does the school run. Oh, bums.
For breakfast and everything else.
Did somebody say just eat?
It's Alana here. Now, Oscar, what the heck is future forecast?
That is a fantastic question. Heck, we couldn't make Hungry Talks without 12 other dedicated communication students. There are a lot of people behind, but mostly in front of and to the side of Alana, Lucia, and myself. And they've all got brilliant ideas for their careers and the future of communications.
Each week, we'll have one of our own team members answer a question given by guests or social media followers.
For episode 1, we're turning to our writer and social producer, Chloe, to get her thoughts on industry AI. Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Oscar.
Chloe, Steph wants to ask you, how are you currently using AI in your creative workflows?
Steph, you need to be careful not to get me into trouble because we're typically not allowed to use AI in our uni work. I'm inclined to say I don't use AI in my creative workflows, but the reality is I do, just not in ways that I think about. It's definitely still there. RMIT is dipping its toes into AI waters, so sometimes we have assignments where we're required to use it. As a writer, one that I found valuable was a writing task where we had to generate content with AI. We needed to prompt a generative model to come up with an engaging draft for a cafe review. Then the idea was to look at AI's strengths and weaknesses. I was quick to point out errors and the cheap AI indicators, misinformation or slop, and giveaways like short sentences, excessively emotive language, and of course the M-dash. I share this with Steph. I love an M-dash in my human writing. I also pointed out some further implications though of generative AI like built-in social biases and IP violations. But then I went on to write my own review and I found myself saying similar things to AI. Obviously, ChatGPT had never been to the cafe, it didn't know the temperature of the drinks or that the staff always know my name, but it did build an understanding of user behavior. AI can't go to the cafe, but it can read a lot of Google reviews very quickly and build a general idea of what to expect, rooted in empirical qualitative data. The exercise ended up being a great demonstration, not for writing, but for audience analysis. Outside of being a writer and a student, my primary job is as a social media consultant. I create and execute social media strategy for small businesses, mostly pubs. In this job, AI is rarely about content generation, but about data and analytics. I work a lot with Meta. Their algorithm is AI-driven, so is their paid advertising model. When I consider the Instagram algorithm, I know I need to cater to non-followers if I want a video to do really well, get a hook that stops the scroll, grabs users quickly, and converts to a call to action. The attention economy that digital marketers operate in is AI-driven and has these massive, massive amounts of data behind it. So I use this data to segment and target my audiences before creating a strong strategy and tailored content. That AI cafe review I mentioned earlier made me think more about how AI can be integrated into my hospitality marketing work. SEO is dying, so now we look at GEO. Reviews are more important than the website, hashtags are redundant, and the algorithm decides how well you do. So I've learnt how to tackle the AI algorithm. Another thing, I really preach AI literacy. It scares me that kids are coming up through school and using ChatGPT for everything. That should not be happening. But I think it is something that can be taught, not just to school kids, but anyone who uses technology. We build our understanding of what AI is, what it can and should be used for, and why we should use it. We should also figure out when not to use it, what its shortcomings are, what its ethical and environmental impacts are. Building a sustainable AI infrastructure is very important to me because it is a valuable tool that we get to use, hopefully for a while. So, too long, didn't read. How do I use AI in my creative workflows? I don't use it to generate ideas or content because that's the part I love doing myself. I feel like it's my purpose in life to tell stories and create connections. I use my human insight for that. But the bigger numbers and the data sets, the audience profiling that I can use AI for, really does support me to be a stronger digital storyteller. Thanks again to Stef for the question and Ed and Paul for your insights earlier. I'm really excited to integrate some of those into my own work. For now, I'm going to pass back to Alana and Oscar for quick brief.
Advertising students, it's time for your first quick brief.
Every year we run quick briefs, which gives students in the advertising major an opportunity to develop creative solutions to briefs and develop their portfolio. This week we're keeping with the AI theme with a challenge from the Disrupt AI Film Festival.
This isn't any AI film festival, it's Australia's first generative AI film festival run by the TBWA. It positions itself as a national platform for filmmakers, artists, technologists and students to tell stories with the help of Gen AI tools.
Now here, technology is your co-creator for your ideas. This year's theme is humans and their tools.
This week's quick brief challenges you to scamp ideas for submission that meets the festival brief. While the festival is bigger than our usual quick brief, you don't actually need to produce a film for it. Instead, just create a concept for a film that explores the theme.
So scamp ideas or create a storyboard for a project that could be created using only Gen AI tools for the visuals, the audio, effects, animation, or anything else. Remember that the theme is humans and their tools.
Oscar, I'm skeptical of all of this. Haven't we spent the whole episode talking about how human creativity is stronger than AI's insights?
Well, we have, but the brief is still about human creativity and insight because you're coming up with the idea. The stronger your input to the AI, the more original and tailored the final product is. Besides, the idea isn't to use Gen AI in the task. You're plotting a cool way to use it for the AI Film Festival.
Okay, I see. So hypothetically, if I asked AI to respond to the brief, it probably wouldn't give me the winning idea?
Well, you can try.
Well, I actually just did. So here's ChatGPT's response to the brief.
Well, if you think you can do better with what you just saw, submit your Scamp and storyboards to scampchamp@hungrytalks.com.au for your chance to be featured on the Honour Wall in the Ad Lab and be in the running for the 2026 Scamp Champ.
Pretty exciting stuff, Oscar. Now,
Yes.
can you tell me what's one thing AI could never do?
Well, there's a lot that AI can't do, but there's no way in a million years that AI could have written Kath and Kim, The Castle, the legendary Fat Pizza, or Chopper. You know, it's different, it's unusual, it's the vibe of the thing. AI does not understand Australia one bit. Our culture is just different. Most would say weird, but even other humans don't understand the Australian culture. But a lot of human campaigns have nailed that Aussie insight.
Don't you remember Rhonda and Katut, our cross-cultural lovebirds, or the mildly offensive "see you in the NT" ad?
I do, Alana, but AI cannot walk barefoot in the supermarket or burn its tongue on a meat pie watching Collingwood lose. It can never replicate Australian creativity.
Humans are flawed, irrational, emotional, weird, and wonderfully wacky.
Some of our best ideas come from unexpected places. Experiences that feel deeply personal, yet prove to be universal. Bizarre and unlikely connections, and fleeting thoughts we never expected to become something more.
Like Bank West's unsettling ads or Kia's zombie-proof campaign, they exist because people are willing to take risks and embrace the left-of-centre thought. This season celebrates that uniquely human creativity and the imperfections that make it just so powerful.
We'll get to the weird, the wonderful, and the wacky later in the season, don't you worry. But next week, we're talking about something quite serious. We've spoken a lot about the limitations of AI, but humans are not without their own flaws.
Humanity has obstacles. The reality is gender inequality still plagues this industry like many.
Next week, we're confronting the boys club featuring the aunties in the show and across socials.
We'll see you next week for an honest, hopeful chat about a female future in communications.
But until then, you can keep up with Hungry Talks online. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and of course YouTube. You can also find exclusive content on all of these channels. Handles are down below.
Thank you again to our guests, Stef DiGianvincenzo, Ed Howley, and Paul Arena.
Your guys' insights were fantastic. Thank you so much.
Reporting live from the future, I'm Alana.
And I'm Oscar.
Boys Club goes live at 6 p.m. next Wednesday.
We'll see you
in the future.
Hungry talks.